Alrighty, in today's video we're going to be taking a look at a series of commonly used events that you can use to progress your quest from stage to stage. So the four we'll be looking at are event OnActivate, event OnDeath, event OnRead, and event OnItemAdded. So these are pretty simple events to use, and you can, even just using these four, you can create a nice quest for the player to go on. So I've set up a little test cell here with all of the objects that we're going to need. And the first thing that we're going to do is create a quest. So this is not going to be like a full quest. This is just going to be the functionality. So that we won't have a story or anything. It's just going to show you how to incorporate these events into your quest structure. So we'll start off by going to character and quest, and once you see all these quests in the right side of your object window, you go select new, and we're going to create our new quest. So as a quest ID, we're going to name it quest tutorial or creation kit tutorial quest. You can give the name something like this, tutorial quest priority 0. And for the purpose of this mod, we're going to uncheck Start Game Enabled. Once you've got those three things and four things done, then you can click OK. OK. So now I'm going to go back into my filter here. I'm just going to type in quest tutorial creation kit tutorial quest and find my quest again. The reason why we closed it is just because many of these tabs along the top that you see here, they're not accessible until you've kind of named your quest and then closed the window and then opened it again. So now that that's done, we're going to add a series of stages. So we're going to go Quest Stages tab, right click New, and we're going to that can be stage 0, this will be stage 10, 20, 30, and 40. Let's hope that's all of it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to start from just left to right, I guess. So we'll start with the shrine. And what I mean by that is we're going to call this event 10. The book event, we're going to call it the event OnRead. We're going to call it 20. The event OnItemAdded, we're going to call this 30. And the OnDeath event, we're going to call it 40. So let's add some of those objectives then onto our quest window. So 10 is, let's use a capital, the shrine was activated. Our next one, 20, is going to be, whoops, the book was read. Another objective, we'll call this, anytime you create an objective, you have to set the number using this index box. 30, we're going to say the bow, or a longbow in this case, was picked up. And our last objective, 40, the actor has died. So these are our four quest stages. They correspond, or our four quest objectives, which correspond to our four quest stages. And we're going to be using this information within our scripts so that the script knows, like what event we're trying to reach when we call a set stage function. So this is all set up for now. So we're going to click OK. And now we can go back to our script here, and we can start scripting. Just remove that. So we're going to double click the item, in this case the shrine, and we're going to go to scripts, add new script, call this something creation kit tutorial on activate script. Name it something that's easy. Oh, it already, okay, do here. Name it something that's easy to remember and that's something that's also easy for you to find. So usually you want to give it some kind of prefix that makes it easy to find in a list. So once your script is created, you go right click, edit source, and we can start writing here. So this is an event on OnActivate. akActionRef. The first part of the script just says this is an OnActivate event. That's pretty simple. Within the brackets, we have a set of parameters. So the first thing we're looking at is ObjectReference. That's the thing that's being activated. And then the second thing we have is akActionRef. So this is the thing that's acting on the object. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a reference to our quest stage within this script, so that when the shrine is activated, the script will tell the creation kit which stage of our quest we want to trigger. So we do that by writing ck tutorial quest dot set stage 10, because that was our stage we set for the shrine was activated on stage 10, just like that. Okay, and anytime we're done writing an event, we have to end the event. So start the event, all of our instructions in the middle, end event. Great. Now if you try to compile this script by using Control Save, you're going to get a fail. The reason is because the creation kit doesn't understand what ck tutorial quest means. Even though it's the same, it's written the same way as it is in this window and in the script, it still doesn't know. So we have to declare it as a property so that we can set its value so the script knows what we're talking about. What you do is you start by writing quest property ck tutorial quest followed by auto. So all properties in scripts are declared the same way. Starts off with a type, then you have to call it a property, then you write the name of the property followed by auto. So there are other, as an example, other property types can be weapon. So you would write it's a weapon property or a weapon type, and then you write that it's a property and you call it longbow auto. Okay? But for now we don't need that. We just need one. So we're going to go ahead and click or use Control S to save, and if it succeeds, you'll see at the bottom it just says compilation succeeded. So that's done. Now we have to set the property. So after we've done this, we're going to click on the properties button. It's going to bring up a window here, and we can go edit value. Now this is just an alphabetical list of quests, so we can scroll all the way down to CK. That's CW, so that's too far. CR, CK tutorial quest. Perfect. So now we've hooked up our actual quest to the script. So now it knows what we're talking about, and it's going to be able to set our stage 10 when the shrine is activated. Perfect. And you can save now if you like. Now we'll move on to our book. So we did stage 10, now let's do stage 20. So click our book, same thing we did before. New script, call this ck tutorial OnRead script. Oh, these already all exist, okay. The reason that error came up was because there's already a script in my creation kit that's named creation kit tutorial OnRead script. So we're just going to do a second one, 01, just so that it's different. Okay, so then we're going to do edit source, event OnRead, ck tutorial quest, set stage 10, and event. Now for the OnRead event, there are no parameters, so it just looks like a pair of brackets there. And we're going to do the same thing we did with the first one, quest, did I spell that right? Property CK tutorial quest auto, and save. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. This is set stage 20. This should not be 10 because the other one was 10. This one's 20. There we go. And again, we can go properties. Now this time, if you name the property in your script the same thing that it's named in your object window, basically the same thing you name the quest, you can actually use this autofill button and it will automatically find the value that you're looking for. So that's just a little time saver. So click OK, and then we move on to our bow. So this one's a little bit different. In order to get this script to work, we're going to have to create an alias which references the player character, and then when the player character picks up the bow, this event will fire. You could alternatively add an item in the game like a barrel, something like this. And you could use this barrel as the container, and you put the script on the barrel here. And so that when for whatever reason, if a longbow was placed inside the barrel by the player character or by an actor in the world, the event would fire. But that's not what we're going to do for this one. We want it to fire when the player picks up the item. And of course, the only way to do that is to put the script on the player instead of on the barrel. Now, the way this is commonly done is by using an alias within your quest. So we're going to go open our quest window and go to quest aliases. And we're going to do right click in the big box, new reference alias. We can just name it player. That's nice and simple. Now to create the reference to the player, we're going to do specific reference, select forced reference. In the tiny window here, in the cell box, you just select, you can click it and just select any. And it's going to fill in this reference box here called player ref and then player in brackets. And that's what we want to see. So just click OK. So now we have some kind of connection to the player. What we're going to do is, in the same window, we're going to add a script. This is why references are really cool, or aliases are really cool kind of like layers or functions in the game, because it allows you to add scripts. You can see here, add spells, factions, keywords, AI packages, and you can even put things in their inventory that are temporary. So they're only there while the quest is running. And that can be really useful sometimes when you're trying to have an NPC, but you don't want them to always have a specific behavior, or you don't want them to always have a specific faction that they're associated with. So in the scripts box, we're going to write add, or select add, new script. And now this one is different from the other three. We're going to call this Creation Kit tutorial OnItemAdded script. The reason this one is different is because we have to fill out this extends box. This is really important. Okay? Reference alias, like this. Normally, when we create a script, this extends box is automatically filled out. It could be filled out with ObjectReference. It could be filled out with like active magic effect. But when we're making a script and we're attaching it to an alias, we have to make sure that we write that this script extends the reference alias, or else it won't know what to act on. Okay, and in this case, the reference alias is the player. So you got all that, then you click OK. Oh, already exists. Okay, 01. There we go. So now we can go ahead and start writing. Actually, what I'll show you quickly is the difference between this one and the other ones we did. So you can see here on the last one we did, the book script, it says script name. This is our script name. And it says extends object reference. In this case, the object reference is the book. Now that was automatically generated. so we didn't have to fill that out. But for the purpose of our bow script, we're going to have to do that. So let me just go back inside here. And add on our script. This is an event on ItemAdded. Call this form akBaseItem integer aiItemCount ObjectReference akItemReference and ObjectReference akSourceContainer. Okay, so for this event we have 4 parameters. The form, which is the base item, which is the one that we're going to be using. We have an integer, which is an aiItemCount. So, you know, how many, or it's listed as aiItemCount. So how many of those things? In this case, how many of the base items? Then we have ObjectReference, which is a specific item. So if you want a specific item rather than a base item, you can use this. And then the source container. So this is just asking, you know, what container is the object coming from. So we know it's going into the player's inventory, but if you wanted to use this parameter, you could specify, you know, from which container it's supposed to come from. In this case, we don't really care, so we're just going to leave it blank. And when you leave it blank, or you just don't define it, it just assumes that the object comes from the world. So that will be fine for us for now. So we're going to start by using an if statement. And the reason we're doing an if statement is because we don't want this thing to trigger for every single item. We just want it to trigger for our item. Then CK tutorial quest set stage. This is going to be stage 30. And if end event. So just like our events, anytime we have an if statement, we need to end it with an end if. Okay, so this is just a small condition using one of our parameters that exists within the event. You know, and as an example, we could have another one too. Else if akBaseItem is equal to steel sword, something like this. And we could have 2 different things happen depending on which item was picked up. So for example, it could change the quest to a different stage. But that's not what we want to do for here. We're just going to keep it simple. By the way, if you are adding multiple ifs, the first one is an if. All of the ones after that are else ifs. Otherwise, it won't work. So just make sure the first one is an if and all the other ones are else ifs. Okay, great. Now, same thing we did before. You should be getting used to this now. We need a quest, property, CK tutorial quest, always followed by the word auto. We also need a second property because we are asking the game to look for something we are calling longbow. So again, on its own, the script doesn't know what you're talking about when you say longbow, so you have to tell it. So we're going to do, oops, didn't mean to do that. We are going to add another property. In this case, it is a weapon type. It is a property, and we are calling it longbow, and then finish it off with auto. So you've got all this. Now you click your control save, and we're good for this. Now again, we go into our properties, just the same way as we did with any other script. Edit value. Remember, you can do autofill if you name it the same thing, if the names match up. Same thing actually with the weapon. So in the game, this thing is called Oh, that's the table. This thing is called longbow. So we name our property the same thing. We can just do autofill. It's good practice to do that, especially if you have a lot of properties. There's actually, so if I clear these values, there's an autofill all button at the bottom. So it says 2 properties autofilled. That makes things nice and simple. It's not a big deal with 1 or 2 properties, but if you have lots of properties, you definitely want to autofill them. That will save some time. Okay, so that's our 3rd script down. Now let's do our 4th one. This is an OnDeath event, so this is obviously going to be attached to an actor. It goes without saying that if you were to attach a script to an OnDeath script to a book, it wouldn't work because you cannot kill a book. You can only kill an actor in the game. So we're going to do, or if you tried to attach it, to a rock or something, it wouldn't, obviously it's not going to work. So make sure that your scripts are attached to the right objects. Sometimes it's a little bit more specific. So for this one, we're going to do add, again, new script, CK tutorial OnDeath script. This one extends object reference. That's fine. I'm going to click OK. And we're going to edit our source. Event OnDeath. Whoops. This is called actor akKiller, I believe. There we go. Okay, so the OnDeath event has 2 parameters: the actor that's being killed, and the killer, the actor doing the killing. Okay, so we are just going to keep it simple. Creation Kit tutorial quest.set stage. This should be stage 40, I believe. Right on. Quest property Creation Kit tutorial quest auto. Save that. Make sure you set your property. Sometimes things don't work because it's as simple as just forgetting to set the property. Set your property. There we go. So that's the basics of how you script those 4 items. I included this door here and the trigger box just for the sake of variety, I suppose. I'm just going to quickly add our script, CK tutorial. We want the scripts 01. So these scripts, the ones that do not have an 01 written next to them, those are ones that I created just to test everything, just to make sure that everything was going to work. So here we go. We're going to select the OnActivate script 01. And we're going to edit our source. Actually, sorry, we're going to go properties. And we have to set our property again. Autofill. Okay. Okay. And we'll do the same thing for the trigger box here. Make sure you set the property. Autofill. Okay. Okay. Alrighty. By the way, a trigger box is just found on the toolbar up here with the box with the little T in it. You click on an item, you can click trigger box. The one we're using it's called default activate self. Can't really spell it. Default activate self. Click OK, and the box appears in the world. Now this box is going to be invisible while the player is playing the game, but as you imagine, when they walk through it, the event is triggered. Alrighty. So we're basically almost done. There's just one more thing we have to do. We're going to go back into our script just for a second here and add in one more step. So we have CK tutorial quest dot set stage, but we also need objective displayed 10. Okay, the last and final one that you could think about is tutorial quest set objective completed, which will complete the objective. So this one is going to clear it from your journal entry, and this one is going to add it to your journal entry. Let's just worry about one of them for now. Okay, so I'm going to go back and quickly add that. To my scripts. And just make sure you save them as you do that. Save them up. And here we go. Perfect. So now they're all hooked up. You have your 4 quest stages outlined. And what we're going to do now is we can go into the game and we can check out to see how all of our events are firing. So to do that, we go into our data folder. We find Creation Kit events tutorial. It has a little Creation Kit logo next to it. We go right click, WinRAR, add to CK events tutorial.rar. It's going to create a small file here. Then we go and open our modding tool, in this case Mod Organizer. You can import using this button with the little disk on it. CK events tutorial.rar. Okay, great. Make sure it's ticked on the ESP and on the file on the left here. Then you can go ahead and run the game. Okay, so I'm going to go into our test cell. I think I named it Creation Kit tutorial cell. Yeah. And we can check out our things. So the first thing I'm going to do actually is just save. Just make a save so that I can do it again. And we'll start on our shrine object here. So this is our stage 10. We're going to activate it. So tutorial quest started. The shrine was activated and shows up in our journal here. And we can move on to our book. So let's just say, you want to create a quest where the player activates a shrine because they want to receive the blessing, but you're also going to give them a quest, right, to start when they do that. So that might be an interesting way, maybe to surprise the player, I don't know, to start a quest. And the next objective in the quest is for the player to go and find some kind of ancient book or something. Okay, great. So here's our book. So we found our book and we're going to read it, which is going to trigger our quest stage 20. So now the book was read, and the book is going to lead the player toward the next objective, which is find, the rare ancient weapon or something like that. So it's our longbow. So we're going to pick up our longbow. And the final objective of the quest is to find that big bad villain and take them out. Okay. So then our final objective triggers. So that you can see is sort of like the framework for, a pretty, what can actually end up being a reasonably, fun quest, using some really common events that are pretty easy to pick up. But when you put them together, you kind of get something a little bit more interesting. Yeah. The reason actually I saved was just to show you this door and stuff. The way the quest system works is because we use the same OnActivate script for the shrine and the door and the trigger box behind it, you can't call a stage more than once. So if you look at our Creation Kit tutorial quest. That was not very well done. If you look at our quest, it's enabled, it's running, and we're currently at stage 40. So you can't really call stage 40 again. Or I suppose you could, but it won't really do anything. So because stage 10 has already been called by the shrine, activating the door or going through the trigger box is nothing's going to happen. So that's why I saved. So I'll reload the save here. And before activating the shrine, we can activate the door instead. And you can see now our stage 10 has been triggered. Of course, it's going to say the shrine was activated again, but that's just because we reused the same script. And the same thing would happen for the trigger box. Alrighty, so that's it for this video. Yeah, I hope that was useful. And get out there and start making your quests and firing off your events and creating some fun adventures. So thanks for watching, and see you guys in the next one.